Jesus famously shared breakfast with his disciples on the beach after the resurrection. It was a clear statement that he was going to continue to deal in the tangible realities of life rather than just what was in the invisible realm. And he'd already made that apparent when he stood up in the synagogue and he said, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me because he's anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoner, recovery of sight to the blind, and to set the oppressed free." But what is oppression? Well, a dictionary definition of oppression is the prolonged, cruel or unjust treatment or exercise of authority. And one example of this is climate change. It's not just making our summers warmer, it's oppressing those on the other side of the world whose lives are affected by it right now. But we like to think of the oppressors as the other people. We rarely like to put ourselves in that bracket. But in this situation, we are the oppressors. We are those with power and agency having an impact on those who have less. Our excess consumption has clearly led to devastation for others. We sit half a world away, content to not join the dots. Absence, they say, makes the heart grow fonder, but distance seems to make the heart grow harder. The thing is, we're more than happy to join those dots when we believe ourselves to be righteous helpers. You know, we'll advertise on our fridges that we're sponsoring a child in India or that our money's going towards boring wells in Kenya. Then we're very happy to join those global dots. So when our equally clear impact on the world is negative, we hide behind the distance. You know, we house our consumption of meat, plastic, petrol, aviation fuel. We hide that consumption in our own little world, our own little house that is somehow separate to the rest of the world. See, people living in poverty are bearing the brunt of our actions in creating a changing climate, especially those living in small islands where the isolation increases their vulnerability. Some of the people that we need to say sorry to are those living in the Philippines. Following Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, so many people lost their homes and lost their fishing boats. Mary Ann is one of the few female fisherfolk on Manlo Island. She said this: "The typhoons now are stronger and the waves are always big now. The heat from the sea is now reflected strongly on our faces. It overpowers me. We'd normally stay 3 hours out at sea, but now we need to protect our faces with jackets and bonnets against the heat. It really affects the catch, as the tendency of the fish is to go deeper where it's colder. I don't know what to believe anymore." So we have some serious questions to ask of ourselves as faithful citizens of the West. As we approach Easter, we should be glad of the forgiveness offered by the cross, but also glad of the new start offered by the resurrection. But we shouldn't just receive Jesus' gift of life as thankful, forgiven consumers. As Jesus announced his manifesto in Luke chapter 4, it wasn't intended just as a party conference speech for us to sit and applaud. You know, good news to the poor, yes. Set the oppressed free, yes. It's to be our manifesto too. This Easter, we can be Easter people who are transformed, who make the journey from being oppressors to those who are setting the oppressed free. We can join him in his mission. This is our calling. So let's pray. Firstly, for our government, that we would use our influence to turn the climate change tanker around and to stand up against unhelpful corporate interests. And let's pray for the people affected, like Mary Ann, and the projects that Christian Aid is pioneering to help sea life thrive again. Things like solar lighting that actually help people fish more efficiently. And let's pray that God would highlight in us the things that we need to stop doing and the things that we need to start doing. Forgive us, Lord, for what we've done and what we've left undone. Please transform us by the power of your resurrection, that we might be those who proclaim good news to the poor and set the oppressed free. So let's rise up alongside the fishing communities of the Philippines. Let this Easter Big Brekkie be a reminder of the call that the disciples heard 2,000 years ago and the call that we still need to hear today.